Getting set and ready to go green flag here for round number 6 of the 2023 FBRL Hardee's National Series season. Malik Nevins on pole position alongside Kev Shear. Coming off what was a chaotic race at Kentucky, and now coming to Iowa, where last year it got quite hectic. Will we see the same tonight? Malik Nevins launches really well, and he takes the lead easily before even getting to turn 1 here at Iowa Speedway. The 0.75 mile short track. Malik Nevins will lead the first lap. Samuel England moves up to second place, driving for the 77 for Spartan Motorsports, making his first start of the season. As Kev Shear from the outside pole, trying to see if he can slot back into third place here. Kev Shear started second, but he's slowly falling outside of the top 5 as he is trying to get that car up to speed. Trying to get past Lane Sanders now, but the 22 of Dylan Schwamberg making one of his handfuls of planned starts for Fisher Motorsports. He's at the inside of him, and Shear trying to find a place to get down below. Schwamberg goes past Sanders there. Dylan Schwamberg driving the number 22 for Fisher Motorsports, the same car that won here last season, with Luke Martin at the helm, and they'll be looking to replicate that same success from last season. Corey Williams did not get the best start, but he has gotten his car up to speed here, and he is starting to run down some cars here. Your winner back at Kentucky last week, trying to see if he can go back to back. Corey had a solid run here last season as well, and this 14 looks really quick. He gets right past Shear, now looking to get past Schwamberg as he gets to his quarter panel and gets a little bit underneath him there. Corey Williams, your current points leader, trying to see if he can also extend the points lead. This 14 team has been really quick off the jump, and it's not surprising to see Corey fast on these ovals, but I think he's very much a driver who's happy to get those road courses out of the way as he gets past his teammate of Jeff James for the spot. And he has now cracked the top 5 and now is up to 4th place. By 4th place him in 3rd place, as he's now looking for 2nd place against Samuel England in the 77. I'll tell you what, this 14, I think maybe the fastest car right now. He is just picking off cars one by one with relative ease. And he's going to get past Sam England for 2nd place there, as now Malik Nevins is the next car up the road. The biggest mover right now through the field is Dylan Potee in the 83 for Red Bull Racing. Started in 30th place, but he has already climbed up into the top 20 as he got past Granford 19th there. Dylan Potee scored his first career top 10 at Kentucky last week, trying to see if they can follow that up. And definitely drew some eyeballs there. Red Bull Racing, they've kind of had a bit of a struggle to start the year. But they're starting to pick up the pace here. They are racing hard, 3 wide with Goforth, LaPrade, and Gradden to get inside the top 20 here. Gradden stuck up against that top lane. The middle lane is relatively the faster lane here. And Gradden has been in a world of trouble. He is just trying to get this car settled in, but he's just being hammered from all sides. I think he's missing the right-handers. Joshua Michaels, he is coming off him and his team's best career finish in the Hardee's National Series when they finished 16th at Kentucky last week. They managed to take advantage of a fortunately timed caution for them, and were able to make up some places through some chaos, and got them their best finish. And they actually qualified for this race on time. So they're trying to see if they can get a good day out of this. Little Falls Motorsports, I think they're a team that's still kind of not exactly there yet as a solid midfield team, but they are, I think, starting to put things together a bit better here. Michael's now racing the 84 of Cameron Lessard, and Lessard for the... I mean, competing with a Spartan Motorsports car is pretty impressive, all things considered, but Cameron Lessard, I think it's 84. I think something may be wrong with this car. This 84 looked pretty quick in practice, but they didn't qualify amazingly, and so far in the race, they just seem to be struggling. I'm not sure if maybe they've made a bad adjustment or something maybe going on within the car. Here's Jeff Bolton and the SV Motorsports team. They are back after the team SV Motorsports, the longtime Hardee's team. They decided to leave the Hardee series full-time to go pursue a cup effort to a moderate success so far, but they have come back to the Hardee series to make some part-time starts. I almost said fart-time, but they've got Bolton here in the 29 for a couple of races, and so far they're doing solid, running 25th. They did win in the Hardee series last season with Patrick Smith at the helm, and they're trying to see if they can make a surprise return today and get a good solid finish here. Back up at the front, Nick Breeding has arrived on the scene, as has Richard Johnson. We saw Core Williams, he was up to second place, while Johnson and Breeding have gone to second and third, respectively. And Nick Breeding, who was one of the big stars here at Iowa last year, got involved in a mid-race incident where he got spun, which knocked him outside the top 30. And over the course of the final 50 laps of the race, climbed from 33rd all the way to 10th, which on a short track, that is an incredible feat. And well, I'm sure Breeding hopes to not have to necessarily replicate that again, but I think they know that, I think Breeding believes that he can win this race based on last year's performance, and you have to imagine that that's their big inspiration for this weekend here. And also, I think after what happened in Kentucky with the bad luck caution, I think this 19 really wants to find victory lane again. Here's Lilith Onyx, who is back from her second suspension of the season so far. We've only completed 5 races. Onyx, fortunately, was suspended for her incident with Dylan Poteet back at Homestead a few weeks ago, and missed Kentucky, but she is back here at Iowa. And unfortunately has, I think, an FBRL record of 2 suspensions in 2 races, which, not exactly something you kind of want to have on your resume, but I think at this point, FRT has told her that you just need to keep it clean at this point, and you can tell, I don't think she's in the mood to really fight anybody too hard. She has kind of kept her distance. Nick Pericles, who has 2 top 10s on the year so far, he is really struggling. This 90 car running in 41st right now for Spa, and it's been a difficult weekend for this 90 team. I think they've had some momentum to start the year. They've had some solid speed, but Pericles is really struggling, as is Alexander Rowe in the Horizon Group car. I mean, this team won a cup race not that long ago, and they're struggling here in the Hardee series with Rowe. It seems like a lot of good teams have really missed out on something this weekend. You have Lessard in the 84 struggling in 34th, and then you have Horizon Group and Sanders' team all running in the bottom 10 in the field. We're approaching the first pit stops of the night, and I don't think Nick Breeding cares about that, because here he comes for the lead here for the first lead change of the night, potentially. Nevins has led all 48 laps up to this point. But now Nick Breeding, who has a very strong long run car by the looks of it, he's going to go right past the 11. Nick Breeding takes the lead, and he is definitely on track to avenge what happened last week. And now we're going to see how Nevins' car drives in dirty air. This is the first time he has not been out front. And that 9 car, man, it just looks like it exits the corner really well. Time for the pit cycle. Kev Shear will be the first car to dive to pit road. Looking at the lap times here, roughly about almost 3 seconds of tire fall off. Here at Iowa, they brought a bit of a softer compound for this weekend, and it's showing here. And Shear's going to have a... It's going to be interesting to see where he comes out here. He was a couple of seconds behind, but will pitting early be enough to get him out to the lead potentially? Here comes Breeding. And the others, except for Corey Williams, who's going to elect to stay out on the racetrack, along with Dylan Schwallenberg in the 22. Corey will lead this lap, and I imagine will have to come in the next time around, although maybe they're hoping for another lucky caution with what happened last week. Funnily enough, a lot of those guys who got in trouble during that, they pitted first. But nope, Corey Williams comes to pit road. He's going to bring Schwallenberg with him, as does England. And however, we got a couple guys who are going to stay out even longer. Matthew Rodriguez in the 17. He's going to go out an extra lap here, as does Dylan Poteet. This is quite a risk here. With the heavy tire wear, staying out this long could be detrimental. But get a lucky caution or rely on the long run speed with the tires, and maybe something will work out. Rodriguez comes to pit road, and I think that's going to bring everyone else who has not pit so far. There's Nick Breeding in the 9. He has retained the lead, it looks like, for now, as Kev Shear looks like he did make up some time. Nick Breeding does, in fact, keep the lead, but there's a bit of a problem. Lap traffic. And they are not getting out of the way. Fitzwater is trying to fight the 9 here. Here comes Richard Johnson. Here comes Kev Shear. They are now all over his bumper. Oof, these guys are all racing, trying to stay on the lead lap there as Breeding gets a little bit loose on entry. Here comes Kev Shear in the 0 car underneath the 10. For the lead, Kev Shear looking for the spot. Can he get past Breeding? Breeding finding back on the outside. Richard Johnson sticks behind him here. But Shear, he's going to clear the 9. It looks like off at turn 2. But can Shear now get past Fitzwater? He's being held up by Tim Fiegel in the 87. Slight contact there. But, oh, yeah, this is not what you want to see. If you're the leader here, they are side by side. Oh, no. This is going to cause a logjam here. Here comes Malik Nevins now back on the scene. This is going to shuffle. This is going to bunch the top 5 back up here. But Shear finally gets next to Fiegel as we are approaching the halfway point here at Iowa. Shear trying to get past Fiegel. Fiegel's fine back though. Here comes Richard Johnson to try and capitalize. Shear now still on the bottom. He's just trying to keep his nose in clean air. As here comes Richard Johnson trying to shoot it up 3 wide in the middle, but unfortunately couldn't stick it. But he's going to get next to Fitzwater. That would have been quite bold to do that by Richard. Here's what happened to Matthew Rodriguez, by the way, during the pit cycles. The 17 car has issues getting his car refired. And he was sitting in his box for quite a while. Rodriguez had driven up towards the top 10, and they clocked in a 26-second stop for Matthew Rodriguez. So a really bad stop from the 17 team. This car had a lot of bad luck last year, and that's going to be a costly mistake. You can see the time he lost as he fell all the way back to Arya Carmona. For the lead here, Richard Johnson all over the back of Kev Shear. This 10 car's got some hops right now. He is really quick. And he's going to try to get underneath Kev Shear. Shear, though, fights back on the outside. He's not going to give this up very easily. Richard Johnson had a potential race-winning car at Kentucky last week, but unfortunately, that mistimed yellow cost him. And he is now trying to get that lead back in what has been a very unlucky year for this 10 team. Trying to clear Shear, but Shear is fighting back as hard as he can on the outside, but I think he's going to have to give this up. He does. Johnson slides up in front of him and takes the lead. We've seen that this 10 car has been quick on the ovals. It's just been bad luck after bad luck has plagued this 10 team. But maybe this is an opportunity to get this season back on track here. Richard Johnson is one of FBRL's greatest drivers, and he is trying to see if he can get his first Hardee's win to add to his long historic resume here. But we still got half a race to go, and there's still some very fast cars behind him and in front of him. Lane Sanders on 97 qualified pretty well, ran the top 10 for most of the opening stint of this race, but I think a difficult pit stop and a struggling handling car has set the 97 team outside the top 15. Sanders has had a pretty decent start to the year. Actually, I wouldn't say decent, I would say a good start to the year, running in the top 5 in points. He's definitely been having to fill in the shoes that Diego Yepes left behind, who ran for the title last year, and I'd say he's doing a solid job. Currently running 16th, trying to hold the spot from Doug Lockrow, and trying to see if he can get past Griffin Lapo McDermott, who is in 15th himself. And Single Z Racing here on lap 73, looking pretty spiffy so far. Griffin up here in 15th, and his teammate Cody Goforth up in 11th, battling Noah Hart for a top 10 spot. Goforth, who ran inside the top 10 for most of Kentucky, unfortunately got screwed by a badly timed caution, just like so many other drivers did that day. But he's trying to avenge that result, and he's doing a really good job so far in this 92 car. For the lead, Malik Nevins, who led the first 48 laps of tonight. He is trying to get that lead back as he gets past his teammate of Richard Johnson. I think Johnson may have had some issues with Carmona, and it's allowed Nevins to take advantage of the situation. So Nevins, he does get the lead back here. However, this 11 car did not seem to be as quick on the long run during that first stint, so we'll see if this 11 can hold up that pace as things continue on here. Richard Johnson 10th, now under attack from Tim Fiegel in the 87, who's actually picked up the pace the past couple of laps. I think this 87 may have figured something out because he's one of the fastest cars in the field right now. The only problem is that he's a lap down, so he needs to get his lap back here. While Kev Shear runs inside the top 5, his teammates are not exactly having the best of times right now. Ryan Butcher and James Ellison running 23rd and 24th. And it's been quite the uphill climb for these two. James Ellison, who is trying to get inside the top 10 in points. Ryan Butcher, who's trying to get his season back on track. This 8 car has been quick, but has been very unlucky. Very unlucky. Fortunately, got involved in a late race incident with Christian Vargas while racing inside the top 5, which basically ended his day. But right now, SBR, they're kind of Shears obviously figured something out, but the rest of the team, I think they're wondering what happened. Ooh, Cody Goforth with a massive move on the bottom lane there in the 92 car. That was bold, but he's going to make it stick. Cody Goforth here making the pass to get inside the top 10. As Hart loses the spot in the 18 car. So Goforth gets inside the top 10. There's Brandon Beal, who's having a relatively quiet day. Been running inside the top 15 for most of tonight. And Dylan Poteet continuing his slow march through the field. He is up to 13th for Red Bull Racing so far. And he is trying to see if he can get his second top 10 in a row and his second in his career. He is not a driver with a lot of experience, but he has been showing some great poise these past couple of races as he gets past Beal, and now he's going to try and see if he can pick off Hart as well for 11th place. Hart struggling the 18 car. Looks like that 18 is really out of shape there. I think Hart's having some issues driving that thing. As Poteet now moves up to 11th spot and is now marching towards Goforth. That 83 is really killing it right now. Look at him go. 3 Hondas here battling for a spot in the top 10. And a lot of really talented youngsters trying to get a top 10 finish here tonight with just over 40 laps to go. Malik Nevins is still your leader, and he's got a face full of Tim Fiegel behind him, who has suddenly become the fastest car on the racing surface somehow. And you have to imagine that if this was a race for the lead, Fiegel would have a shot to win tonight. But I think by the time they made this car good, it was just maybe a little too late. But here comes Fiegel up the inside to get his lap back here. And he will get it. So Fiegel gets his lap back, which if the caution were to come out, that would put the 33 of Zachary Fitzwater at the lucky dog position. For the lead here, Richard Johnson trying to see if he can get the lead back from Malik Nevins. And here he comes up the inside. The Joseph Srigley Racing car is now battling for the lead here, coming up on the final pit stops of the night. It does not seem apparent that this 11 car has the fastest long-run car, as this is the second time he's been caught and passed after leading for a while. But Richard Johnson trying to clear his teammate here. Nevins is not going to give us up without a fight, but Johnson does power his way back towards the lead. This team trying to score their second win of the season, the second win of the team's history here in the Hardee Series. And they've got their drivers running 1-2 right now. Meanwhile, Jeff James looking for second place as well. He's been quiet today, but he's been running inside the top 5 for this entire run. So this 4 car's quick. It's just hasn't really gone down and dirty in the trenches racing in this field. So he's been just keeping his nose clean and keeping himself in the hunt here. Corey Williams back in 4th place. Had some strong speed to start the race off, but does not seem to exactly have the same speed as he did before. But he's keeping himself in tow with the leaders here. Dylan Schwamberg in the 22 for Fisher Motorsports also has had a bit of a quiet day, but he's been running inside the top 6 pretty much all night long. And maybe trying to replicate what Luke Martin did last year, where he ran on towards the front, but waited till the end of the race to start making some moves, which got him a win. Kev Shears had a great day running in 6th place here. They've done a really good job so far to begin the year in the 0 team, just been maybe a little bit unlucky at some points. Nick Breeding, he does not seem to have that same long run pace as he did earlier tonight. I wonder if they made some pretty rough adjustments, and it has knocked the pace out of Breeding. I have to imagine they're going to hope to fix that on pit road. Samuel England, the 77, he's kept his nose clean so far tonight. Has not exactly gained a lot of positions over the last 50 or so laps. And how about this? Dylan Potee, 9th. He got past RJ Bishop a couple laps ago, and he is one of the fastest cars in the field right now. This 83 has got some genuine race-winning pace if he could just get the track position. So Potee just getting quicker and quicker as the night's gone on. RJ Bishop in the 71, running inside the top 10. He's been quiet tonight as well, but he's been really great to start this year. Malik Nevins now, he's going to fight back against Johnson for the lead. Coming up on 25 laps to go here at Iowa. It looked like for a moment Johnson was going to take the lead and pull away, but Nevins said, "Nuh-uh, I am going to stick with you for this no matter what it takes." And Nevins now trying to clear the 10. Johnson tries to fight back on the outside, but Nevins gets that car back out in front to retake the lead here at Iowa. And whoa, Johnson goes high up the track. He missed that corner pretty badly. Looked like he may have locked up, or the car just got unsettled under braking. But here comes Jeff James now in the 4 car up to 2nd place here. He is taking advantage of the battling that Johnson and Nevins just did. I wonder if this 4 car, I think those 2 Wrigley cars just raced a little bit too hard, because now here comes Jeff James, here comes Williams, and now here comes Schwamberg as well. They've really picked up the pace here. With how strong the tire has been tonight, you have to imagine that you battle someone too hard, it's going to hurt you. And I think the Wrigley cars are paying the price. Jeff James will be the first to peel off the pit road. From 2nd place, he is going to come in, and let's see what's going to happen here. Just over 20 laps to go. I'm curious if these guys will take 4 tires or 2 tires here. That was the best time for Jeff James to pit. So let's see what the call's going to be here. You only got to run 20 laps, so you have to imagine 2 tires might be the call here. It is. Jeff James takes 2 tires. Will RJ Bishop and others do the same as well? 2 tires. Yep, I don't think anyone's going to be taking 4 tires here. This seems like it's going to be a two tire stopper for the entire field. Nevins dives to pit road for his final stop of the night. Corey Williams will stay out just like he did on the previous stint. So Corey here, he's going to go an extra lap here. It looks like everyone's taking 2 tires, so... And, yeah, so at this point, it's going to be get those 2 tires on as fast as you can here. And here comes Corey to pit road. And there's Jeff James. He comes out of his pit stall here. However, the leader, I believe, is Dylan Poteet in the 83. He is elected to stay out even longer than everyone else. So, Poteet, yes, he does assume the lead here, but he is going to stay out as long as possible here, which is quite a call here. And there's the pit road exit there. There's Nevins. Ooh, Poteet makes a late dive to pit road. That could have been disastrous with Nevins. But look at the placement in the field here. Jeff James, way on front of Malik Nevins. He goes by Cameron Lassard, who has yet to pit as well. That's why he's 6th. Lassard is trying to stay out as long as possible. He's trying to get some kind of lucky caution here to get his race back on track here, which would be quite a call, but that is asking for a lot, to be honest. "15 laps to go here, and Jeff James, by pitting first, may have sealed the deal here. 2.8 seconds to second place, the largest gap of tonight from the lead to second place. No one had really gone above a second, but now it's 2.8. So Jeff James takes the lead. Dylan Schwalberg now up to second place with Malik Nevins in tow. He is up to second place there, but what about Richard Johnson? Richard Johnson was 3rd when the cycle started. He is down to 5th. I wonder if maybe they made a mistake on the 10 team there on pit road, because Sir Wrigley's lost a ton of time here. It looked like he was going to be contending for a win tonight, but it looks like that's over. Battle for second here between Schwalberg and Malik Nevins. It looked like Nevins was going to be on track to potentially win tonight, but unless something drastic happens, he's going to need some help. But right now he's focusing on second place with Schwalberg. And Schwalberg's not going to let Nevins just go by. He's been running really well tonight. And while he was hoping to contend for a win, this has been very much a hard-earned second place for him, at the very least. Less than 10 laps to go here. Nevins is all over the back of this 22 for second. And he just gets to the quarter panel. Can he slide his way underneath the 22? He does. For second place here. And this is costing time to Jeff James, by the way. The gap is now up to 3 seconds as Nevins makes the pass. Noah Hard, who looked like he was poised for a potential top 10 run tonight. This 18 car has just gotten worse and worse as the night has gone on. We saw him struggling to keep inside the top 10 when he was battling with Goforth and the others. And it looks like it's gotten worse as Hart has fallen to 24th. That's got to be very disappointing for Noah Hart. This 18 team has really struggled ever since Daytona. And they need to get their season on track there. Matthew Rodriguez trying to continue his recovery drive. But unfortunately, that time lost has just been really difficult to make up. He's going to get past Ryan Reed for 29th, and he's going to now search for Kukalon for 28th. It's been a tough night for Rodriguez Racing. It seems like as the night has gone on, all of their cars have just gotten worse. And you have to imagine they're going to go back to the team headquarters and look at their cars and wonder, what the heck did we do wrong this weekend? Four to go here at Iowa, and this is the big battle right now for 4th place right now. Kev Shear trying to hold off Breeding, Richard Johnson, and Corey Williams. Corey Williams has been running the fastest laps on track the past 10 laps. So this 14 car is really quick right now, but unfortunately he's not going to have the time to catch his teammate of Jeff James. But you can see that 14, that car just turns really well. He just flies right past Johnson and Breeding. He's now going to go right up to Kev Shear in the 0 car. And he's going to try to take the spot here with 2 laps to go. Can he clear Shear? He does. Corey Williams with a lot of passes here in the final 5 laps. Coming to take the white flag, Jeff James in the 4 for Curtis Racing. It's just going to go 0.75 more miles. And will score his first win in the Hardee's National Series. It's been a very difficult start to the year for this Ford team. But perhaps this is where the road straightens and the championship hopes become a bit brighter. To the checkered flag, Jeff James for Curtis Racing scores the team's 2nd straight win of the season. And a very much needed performance for that Ford team after all the adversity they've gone through. Dylan Schwamberg passes Malik Nevins on the final lap to take 2nd place from Malik Nevins. And Nevins leads over 70 laps tonight to finish 3rd. Corey Williams comes across 4th after a late race charge. A strong run for him, and he will extend the points lead a little bit. Kev Shear finishes 5th in the 0 car. Nick Breeding finishes 6th. Richard Johnson disappointingly finishes 7th, but a much-needed points day overall. Samuel England in the 77 finishes 8th in a quiet race for him. Dylan Poteet in the 83 scores his 2nd straight and career top 10 here in the Hardee's National Series. And a great drive from the Red Bull driver, drives from 30th to 9th. Rounding out the top 10 is RJ Bishop with a quiet 10th place finish.